How are you today? Happy Friday. I hope that you guys are doing awesome today and that you're having a good morning so far. So today's video, I wanted to chat to you guys about self-care tips that no one talks about. So this is going to be fun and hopefully it's helpful for you in your journey of learning to take better care of yourself and just find yourself on that self-love journey. So before we get started, you guys, a couple little housekeeping things. If you guys are watching this on Facebook this morning, I would encourage you to head on over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications for each time that I come live, which is Monday to Friday around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then if you guys are not already in my community, I have a community called Imperfectly Perfect You. This is a community of women who are inspiring and empowering each other to go on those self-love journeys and have that journey not feel so alone by having other people to support you and inspire you and just help you to know that you can achieve self-love at any size. So the link to that group is in the description. We always do lots of challenges in there and fun little posts and learning, and other kind of experts come in and talk in there as well. We have interviews with women on just sharing their journeys with us. And so, lots of fun in there. So self-care tips that no one talks about. These are fun, and it's interesting when you start to look at self-care from a different perspective. I'm just going to bring up my video here so I can see what you guys are saying. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. So self-care generally is something that people, you look at and just be like, oh, I do self-care. I do a face mask every once in a while. I get a massage. The general kind of like personal self-care ideas that are like the pampering types of self-care, which those are a type of self-care, and that is wonderful that you make that time for yourself. But self-care can go a little bit deeper than that. And these are kind of some habits that no one really talks about when we're talking about self-care. So I wanted to share with you guys a couple different ways that you can really kind of tune in and be intentional with your self-care to make sure that you are actually doing the things. So if you feel like your self-care is kind of out of whack, or if you are finding in the new year that you are really trying to take those active steps towards taking care of yourself better, then you'll want to listen to what I gotta say. So the first thing we talk about when we are talking about self-care that no one typically talks about is really setting those boundaries. Boundary setting is super important when it comes to so many different areas of our lives. But I think what we don't realize is when it comes to self-care, it really is another area that needs to have boundaries set around it. So setting those boundaries around either your business, if you are a business person, or if you have a career, setting boundaries around your job is a really important part, right? And that's an important part of self-care, because if you're answering emails or taking texts or phone calls at 11 o'clock at night, you are not setting a boundary around self-care that really, you need sleep. Sleep is a part of our self-care, getting adequate sleep. And if you have late night phone calls or texts or emails that you're responding to, then you're really setting yourself up for having those things on your mind as you go to sleep. And then it's just not setting you up for that self-care portion of sleeping, which is a part of our physical care that we need to take care of, right? So, setting boundaries around those type of things, setting boundaries with yourself around really, really knowing that, like if you know that you scroll on Instagram in the evening, I know I'm guilty of that. And so if you find yourself doing that, but it's probably not a healthy behavior and is taking away from your either self-care routine that you may have in the evening or that you maybe should have in the evening. So maybe turning that phone off or setting yourself a timer on your phone to be like, I stop scrolling at this time, which allows me to, make sure the dishes are put away, make sure that the house is tidied up, make sure that I have time to do my gratitude journaling and do my meditation before I go to sleep. So setting those boundaries is such an important part of self-care, right? And we don't talk about those things enough, and we don't really connect boundaries to self-care. We just kind of have it separate. We always think that, you need to set boundaries with your friends and with your family and with your spouse and with your children. Like, there's all these different areas that, yes, we need to set boundaries with to have healthy kind of relationships. However, it's really important to realize that self-care needs some boundaries set too. So the next tip that we go into that no one really talks about is that realizing that we are in control. And this kind of, boundaries and this second part really connect well with each other. They kind of go hand in hand. You have to realize that you are in control of what happens, that you have the power to make sure that you're developing that healthy self-care routine. So, like I said, setting yourself a timer around social media, like to say that you're going to turn it off. So you're knowing that sleep is a part of self-care, right? And then it's also like whatever temptations you can like remove from being able to prove to yourself that you're in control. So if you have I know another big one for me is like if you find yourself scrolling in bed, maybe a good self-care tip is to maybe put your phone across the room to charge at night. So then it's not a temptation, and you're setting that boundary around, what, I don't need to scroll, I need to sleep. Sleep is a part of my self-care. So really these two tips kind of really go hand in hand, and they're very similar on just knowing that setting those boundaries and then knowing that you are in control of them, that the power lies within you, not within anyone else. So when you're talking about setting boundaries of your self-care, of like either saying no to things or saying no to people, or really knowing that you're in control of changing the way that your self-care routine looks, just to know that those are important ways that you can really take care of yourself a little better. And then my final way that I wanted to share with you guys about self-care tips that nobody talks about is to be consistent. Consistency is huge. When you're taking those small action steps towards bettering your self-care, you're going to notice that it actually sticks. Just like anything that we do in life, if we are not consistent with it, there is a good chance that it's not going to help us, or that we are not going to benefit from that change. Consistency in anything is important, whether you're taking a course, whether you're being a parent or a spouse, or running a business, or working a job. If you're consistent with any of those areas, then you're probably going to find yourself being more successful in the areas that you're consistent in. And you'll also notice that if you're not consistent in those areas and you're not taking those action steps towards, that whatever goal that we're talking about, that you're probably not going to even be close to achieving it or to feeling like you're nourishing that part of your life. So consistency is huge, and it's a really something that we don't talk about with self-care, but self-care, it has to be consistent, or you're going to notice yourself maybe feeling, overwhelm or stress or worry. And if you don't take that time to realize that taking care of you is what is lacking, then it sucks, right? So just know that these are all just things that we don't really talk about. Self-care, like I said, it gets the bad rap of just literally being about massages and spa days. And while those things are lovely and they are one aspect of self-care, that we really need to realize that there's a whole lot more that goes into self-care, and there's a lot that we can learn about ourselves in the process. So I hope that those little tips were helpful for you guys this morning. A couple things before I head out of here. If you are not, I already talked about my community, so make sure you're in there in the Imperfectly Perfect group. You can find the link to that in the video description. And then if you are not in my program already, you should be. I have a program called the SelfLove Revolution with Martina, which is a group coaching program where you gain access to tools to really help to transform your life, to put it simply. You're going to learn my self-love at any size method is what I coach women on really learning to connect to their bodies, accept and respect their bodies, show up for life with confidence, and really become that person that's taking those brave leaps towards that inner healing that we all really need to do. And if you find yourself, feeling those feelings of either intense feelings of overwhelm, stress, worry, frustration, unhealthy, relationships in your life, unhealthy relationships with yourself, this program is going to help you to really start that inner healing journey. So it is 40% off right now. I'm taking the first 10 people are getting a cool swag bag with it. You get weekly group coaching with me. You get monthly group coaching with a bunch of other different ladies that are in the program with us. And you just have me to stand beside you in your journey to discovering exactly who you were meant to be. And the thing I always like to tell people with this program is that, yes, I know mamas, if you're a mama out there, that you will probably think that something like this is really, and it's an investment that you can't afford to make because, you have a family or a spouse and you have responsibilities. But what I want you to realize is as you do this inner healing, you're really doing it not only for yourself, but then your family is going to be affected by the changes that you're making. So your kids are watching, your spouse is watching. When you are taking those brave leaps towards doing that inner healing and showing up for life with confidence, you're going to be creating kids that want to be confident and that also take those brave leaps. You're going to have kids that are going to love their bodies and show up for life loving their body, which is so huge. Body image affects so many of us, from babies to seniors. Body image is really something that needs to be healed, and really the whole society as a whole really needs to change our way that we feel about body image and the way that we portray what your body image has to be in order to be happy or successful or any of those things. And so I hope to change that within this program on helping you to realize that not only will this transform the way that you see yourself, but it'll transform the way that your kids are showing up for themselves as well. So I hope that was helpful today. And if you have any questions about my program, you can message me the word self-love, and I'll make sure that I pop on here and say, check my messages, and I'd love to chat to you more about it. I don't think people realize the intensity or the worthiness of this program. It is amazing, and it has so much in there to help you shine bright, find that, inner healing piece that you may have been missing in your life. So anyway, that's all I had. Well, actually, I'm going to share one more thing with you because this one's time sensitive, and if we don't hurry up, you're going to miss out. I got to find my link here. Where is it? Is it this one? Yes. So I'm doing a book collaboration. I am publishing a book this year in 2022, but I want some friends to come along with me in this journey. So I have saved 21 spots for some friends to come in with me, and we are writing a book together. It's going to be you get your own chapter in the book where you get to tell your story of either self-love or self-discovery, and really just share with others, obstacles you overcome or situations that you've had in your life that have been hard, but you have, seen the light at the end of the tunnel. And so if this sounds something like you're interested in and you have a story to share, I would definitely reach out to me and secure your spot in this. We have some spots left. This opportunity is only open until end of January, so you only have half of a month to get in on this, and it's going to be so exciting. So you're going to have coaching to help you to define your story and write your story. You're not just going to be saying, oh yeah, write your chapter, give it to me by this day. We're going to be having sessions where we collaborate together and bounce ideas off each other and really, pinpoint our stories and how we want to share them. So you're not going to be left alone in this. It's going to be a fun collaborating project with a bunch of other amazing women. The women who have joined us so far, I just can't wait to hear about their stories and how we are going to inspire others by sharing our own stories with the world. So if you guys want in on that, just either send me a message, or the link to that is in the description of the video as well. And jump on it. You don't have very much time. The doors are only open till end of January, so you have to jump on this now. I have payment options available because I don't want you to feel like you can't do it for that reason. And it's really just it's going to be amazing. There's going to be marketing and promotional materials that you're going to be given. You get 5 copies of the book to share with your family and friends. And yeah, so amazing. There's so many things that we're going to do in there. So jump on in with us if you guys want to. We'd love to have you. So anyway, I hope you guys have the best day, and we'll see you on Monday because it's the weekend. So have the best weekend, and we'll see you next time. Take care.